Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Ancient Legends Challenge. In the last episode, we selected the creatures that would be joining us on our journey to a new mountain. So now we're all ready to say some of our final goodbyes to their families, as Snowdrop is guided to these ports. She's one of our most important creatures, since she's going to provide us with most of our food. We have to make sure that she's front and center here. Oh, and Big Ton! He's coming over here to say goodbye after all. I'm sure Reezy can see him from the shores. This is probably how she remembers him best. He always did love to play hide and seek after all. But more than that, he loved to splash in the tide pools. And I know he wanted to teach her how to swim someday. But she's all grown up now and she's leaving the nest. It must be a bittersweet moment for Big Don. Well, John Panda, you better come down here and join them too. He was actually surprisingly good friends with Big Don as well, so I'm sure he feels that same connection as some of our summer court. Our ghosts of winter were never too friendly with the walrus deer, but Mr. Panda knew him from such a young age that I don't feel like he saw him as anything more than a babysitter. He does have quite a few wounds on him now, which I'm sure is going to surprise Reezy. But despite the ghost's harsh ways, he managed to survive nonetheless. So I'm sure he'll be okay out here, living out the rest of his life, enjoying the company of plenty more babies. Our brand new little rosebud, Riri, is sure to start a family too, and I'm sure she would love to have Big Don watch over them. If nothing else, he does make for a pretty imposing figure. So if anything was lurking around, trying to sneak up on our babies, I'm sure he would be willing to keep them safe. Oh, and speaking of which, I think that rogue male is back here. Probably checking up on his baby, actually. So at least Harry will get the chance to meet his father. Oh, and that reminds me, I completely forgot to give this poor little baby a name in the last episode. I'm so sorry, little guy. You are absolutely gorgeous, with all of those tiny little white snowy spots. I'd hate to let you go nameless in our tribe. So the next name on my list is Alec. Welcome to our tribe, little one. A little bit later than usual, but I'm sure you'll enjoy hunting bunnies with your mother nonetheless. Now, are there any bunnies that we can scoop up from the safety of the hot springs? It looks like we only have our roots to gather up here. So Rila, if you wouldn't mind, as we keep a very close eye on that rogue male, we'll have you try to dig up some roots of your own. Though it looks like Ismesi might be looking to start a new family with our rogue male. I guess after Topaz's death, she is feeling very, very lonely. So that means that Harry will have an even larger family pretty soon. I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. They will need more able bodies over there to keep them safe, because who knows where those bear-hyenas ran off to. Eventually they'll even have the balance bears to worry about again, especially if it starts to get colder. So I suppose it's no surprise that she's looking for a new mate. Somebody to keep the Hammertail strong. We should be ready to pass the day though. We'll leave our sweet little Rosebud right between all of her new family members. That way she'll be nice and toasty warm. Oh, did somebody get hurt? Was this somebody out here? That was very mysterious. That is definitely not a good way to end our journeys on this island. With such a mysterious omen. I'm not sure that it was even anyone in our tribe, because everyone looks healthy over here. Nobody is even freezing on the outskirts of the gathering. So I wonder if someone might have found that balance bear in the mountains. Something tells me one of our wanderers may have gotten a little bit too close to danger, and now they're paying the price. It reminds me of that skeleton that we found in the water. And I'm sure if Snowdrop heard that sound drifting down in the mountain air, she would be just as concerned. But don't worry, Big Don is on the case. He's going to make sure that no harm comes to our little babies. So Reezy can rest assured too, as we bring some of our final creatures over to the ports, this mountain is going to be in very capable hooves. So all that's left to do is sweep up the very last of our food. We'll see if there's any little bunnies for Emma to go chasing after, so she can help feed the babies. In fact, if we even scoot Alec out of the nest, we should be able to bring his mother around him so she can pick up that meat too. And oh my goodness, it is absolute heaven over here for Emma. I'm sure she is quite pleased that she decided to stick around. I guess Harry is going to have to jump on top of the stump so he can at least show them where the bunnies are hopping. Aspen can settle down in the hot springs once more. I guess he'll be living out the rest of his time here with Rila as they try their best to paw up the roots, because both are far too lazy to do any real hunting. Oh, and it seems as though Butterbee has also passed away. So I'm sure Storm Sky is feeling very sad right now. But luckily he still has his baby, he has his sister, and he has his brand new friend, all of which are quite eager to keep him company. Maybe he'll even get the chance to start another branch of his family here, to introduce some brand new springtime babies to the mountains. And last but not least, our summer court, who are very, very proud of their little Snowdrop. They know that she's going to make an excellent queen, and she'll make sure that everyone is fed. Are you guys okay back here? It looks like the bluebird must have been hunting the bunnies. Omen after omen, it seems. That has to have Snowdrop on edge too. Maybe she's worried the bluebird might have tried picking off her family, or that the bluebirds are going to be a particular nuisance once we do get past Big Dawn. Are you literally trying to block Reezy from leaving you? Or are you trying to go with us, little guy? Well, either way, I'm afraid our journey on this mountain has ended. So Reezy can wave one last goodbye to her old friend Big Dawn, and then Snowdrop will help them set sail. So we'll see you guys as soon as we get there. It looks like Snowdrop and her family made it. And it also seems like this island is quite different from the other one. Oh, look at this place. You can barely even call this a mountain. It's kind of more like a rolling hill with grasslands absolutely everywhere. We do have some glaciers though, and that's the important bit, because those are the legends that we're chasing. I wonder if it's because so many of our summer court have joined us, that this island was so influenced by their presence. Oh, but it looks like we have yet another mountain to travel to once we're all done with this island too. And that one might be a little more difficult, so we'll have to make sure that we stock up on plenty of food here. But we'll have no trouble doing so because there's shells, there's trees absolutely everywhere, and I bet there's going to be quite a few berries too. We even have little water-breathing plants. That's pretty cool. So maybe if one of our cracker jaws wanted to try to find more shells, they could gobble that up and go diving. That's definitely not something they've ever experienced before. And the hot springs right in front of the ports must be an excellent sign for John Panda. He actually had quite a love for the hot springs back home. So why don't we have him make his first steps out into the world? He can settle down inside the first warm bath and sniff around with his nice big nose. Oh my goodness! The Bandit Brothers have brought their Crabbit friends. And it looks like we have lots of roots for you to feast on. We might even have her slip into the pool next to John Panda for now, because I'm pretty sure that'll let her reach the other ones. And then I would like to take her exploring with Reezy and Melodine, because our two brave adventurers, our greatest explorers, are very likely to go searching for the legends. So let's have them start making their way down the right side of the shore, where they can just barely see the glacier poking above the tall grass. Oh, Scotia, wait a second. I'd actually prefer to have you sit on the stump, so you can plop down one of your nests and have your baby right by the safety of the hot springs. That way, even if they don't have the big body, we'll be able to keep them nice and toasty warm. Oh my goodness, Reezy! You just stumbled into yet another gold mine? Oh, that is perfect. So now we have a way to keep our babies even safer out here. That also means that even if one of these glacier creatures is sick, we should be able to keep them alive long enough to get many, many babies out of them. Now, I feel like it would be hard for Gabby to stay here by the hot springs. When she sees these, she only thinks of her younger brother, and she's still very sad that she had to leave him behind. So let's have Gabby tag along with our explorers for now, and maybe her hammertail can act as extra protection. And as for you, Knight, I know you're going to be looking for your little bunnies soon, though I don't think any have spawned just yet. So let's have you slip over here by John Panda, so you can sniff out in that tall grass too. Yeah, I don't see any bunny burrows, but we do have this tree. So even though it's not your preferred occupation, you might have to go back to acorn collecting for just a little while. John Panda's digging paw won't be quite as good as Snowdrop's, since it only gives him a 1 root apiece, but we might as well have him help out since he has that extra turn. And now we should be ready to skip our very first day on this brand new island, and see the very first baby born here too. Oh, look at this baby! He has a snowy white mask. Oh my gosh, it reminds me of Grimm. It almost looks like he has a skull on his head. And he has a hammer tail too, excellent. Well, the next name on my list is Ivan. So welcome to the tribe, little one. And I'm sure you're going to have quite a few adventures on the mountainside, if your appearance is any indication. This seems like the perfect place for you. And there you go, Knight. It looks like you have some bunnies to catch after all. I knew it wouldn't be a waste of time to bring you into this grass. Ah, you've even managed to catch this one off guard. Isn't that perfect that we have a burrow right under this tree? This is literally the best place for Knight to set up camp. There's even little berry bushes that she could pick from if she has a few extra turns to spare. Maybe we'll have to see if John Panda can help her out. They could actually have some pretty healthy babies, and because they both have the digging trunk in their inactive traits, they might even be able to breed a line of diggers, just like Snowdrop. So do you have one more route to dig up over here? It looks like there's one right next to your nice warm bath. And now you can go back to exploring with Reezy, since she should be able to point out quite a few with her big nose. And in the process, we'll have Gabby and Melodine try to carve a pathway. Oh, I bet Gabby is using that big hammer tail to just swing through all of this grass, flattening a nice safe route for our adventurers to take. She actually makes a pretty good addition to our exploring pair. I'm sure they're very happy to have her around. Now let's have Scotia. Maybe we should leave her here for now, just in case. We don't have any bluebirds in our skies, but because this place is still so new, I feel like she would be very wary to let her baby out of her sight. So instead, maybe John Panda could come up here and help a Knight clear out some of the grass. We'll make sure that the bunny burrow is unveiled. That's probably her top priority, because she has to know when the bunnies are sneaking from their homes. So with Scotia on watch duty, we'll go ahead and skip the day again, and hopefully nothing is going to come out and surprise us. We don't need any challenges from Anime blocking our path to the glacier. That's something that they would definitely be able to see now. So as we slowly bring Snowdrop out from the grasses, we'll have Melodine and Reezy set up to do the honors. They definitely deserve it. They've been such an extraordinary pair. So who would be better to greet one of our newest legends? Cross your fingers that this one is going to have a different genetic? Oh no! It looks like she has a hammer tail? But she is a very interesting creature. Oh, those double claws, the antlers, the hammer tail too? Wait a second. Look at that, a 7 in strength? Oh, maybe this is a gift from JessiMew after all. She doesn't have the crown of ram horns, but it's interesting that she has the antlers. Almost as if Meladine could sense a kindred spirit. Well, either way, Sylara, we are definitely going to invite you happily to our tribe. Maybe she could even point out some other glaciers? I don't see any out here right now, but because there's so much grass, I really wouldn't be surprised if one is hiding away in the darkness. I would assume that this is probably where she called home, before she was frozen in that glacier, of course. With all of these permanent nests in the area, and that stump too, it seems like a pretty good place for a critter to rest their head. So maybe Reezy could guide her over to the stump? Or maybe she could go after the bunny? Oh, I bet she is absolutely starving. She could probably use a nice good meal of bunny meat right now. And as for you, Mr. Panda, as you set up this wonderful area for your brand new family, maybe we could go into your mutation menu to see if we could make some stronger babies for the tribe. The ram horns would definitely be a good help, especially because Knight is wearing them anyway. And as for her, I think we might just let her mutation menu slide for now, because I don't want to risk overriding the digging trunk or the cracker jaw. And it doesn't really seem like they have too many other flaws to worry about. Even their fertility is quite high. So go ahead and breed with Mr. Panda, and then you can find a good place to set up your nest. Maybe right here by the bunny burrow for now. It's not the best place because it does mean that your bunnies won't spawn, but at least Mr. Panda will be very close by. Though I guess the bunnies wouldn't even spawn anyway, since Mr. Panda is kind of sitting right on top of their door right now. I'm guessing they're probably a little bit smarter than that. So go ahead and pack up your nest. Then you can lead little Ivan off of the stump, and we'll see if you guys can catch up to some of your family members, because we don't want you getting too far away either. We should be ready to skip the turn again, so let's see if everything remains just as peaceful. Yeah, I don't hear any bluebirds spawning, and aside from all of those bunnies, it looks like... oh no, it looks like we do have some trouble in the grasses. Okay, we're going to want to bring our creatures away from the rogue male as soon as possible. Let's at least see what he looks like. Oh, he has a stinky tail and his inactive traits. That's kind of interesting. Not too terribly helpful on the mountains, and definitely not with Snowdrop. We need to find her a much more suitable partner. So Gabby, why don't you send him packing if you can? Oh no, it looks like he wasn't intimidated at all. Well, that's okay. It's not the most ideal of situations, but we do have plenty of food for new babies. And lots of nests for her to use too. We'll just have to find a bit of a safer place first. Now I guess that means, Scotia, you're not gonna want to go chasing after this bunny, but you could send your son out for it instead. He blends in so well with the snow. I don't think those bunnies could even see him coming. Oh boy. This rogue male is going to be one gigantic pest, isn't he? Something tells me that he's going to catch up to you after all. I don't think it's possible for us to run away from him. We have too many females up here in the grass. Maybe we could bring John Panda out around the back, so he can at least scare him off. He knows how important Snowdrop's line is after all, so he would be willing to jump in and protect them. We might as well meet the newest little baby in the nest too, before we get too ahead of ourselves. Oh, he almost looks just like his mother. He just has the beautiful spring pink crown instead of his mother's gray. Well, you'll be an excellent little protector too, as soon as you grow up. But the next name on my list is Azon. So welcome to our tribe, little one. Hopefully you'll get your gems soon, because we do desperately need somebody to keep us safe. I really don't like the way that this is going. We can't possibly have Meladine and Reezy get separated on some of the very last days of their lives. I mean, they've been together through so much. Maybe Meladine can sneak past the rogue male. Yeah, looks like he's hanging around Gabby for now, so we might actually be okay. Maybe we could even bring Reezy over this way, so we can have them gaze out over the mountain, using the stump as a vantage point. I'm sorry, little guy, but Snowdrop is not interested in you. I guess we're going to have to just skip the day, so we can move Snowdrop away before he ends up breeding with her instead. And let's sniff around as well, just to make sure that there are no other dangers. We don't want her to go flying straight into harm's way. Well, this is definitely not the sort of greeting I was expecting from this mountain. Oh good, it looks like he may have stumbled straight into John Panda's trap. I guess you're going to have to chase him down. I hate to lead you so far away from your family, but I think you're one of our only chances now. I guess this is also inadvertently causing a bit of a rift in our tribe, because the farther they run away from their families, the less likely they are to ever see them again. It was curiosity that caused our summer court and our ghosts of winter to split, but it seems like it's going to be a necessity here if we want to ensure that our genetics stay just as strong on this island. I guess there were more threats than we realized. It seemed like such a peaceful place, but in the next episode, I'm sure our tribe will find a way to conquer it. So for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!